This video is about asylum and specifically having to do with people that come to the southern border in the United States, the border with Mexico and the United States, seeking asylum. So I'm going to tell you that 99% of these people are not entitled to asylum. In fact, the number is so much approaching 100%. Um, the media makes it sound like these people are. And in fact, a lot of people are awarded asylum, like 20% are, but they're not entitled to it. And the reason why I know is because I read the Geneva Convention, which regulates asylum. And when you read what it says, you can see that these people absolutely are not eligible. So I'm going to tell you about the Geneva Convention. What happens is countries get together and they come to agreements on how to handle different situations. Requesting asylum is one of them, and all the nations come up with an agreement and then they ratify it. And what happens under asylum in terms of the Geneva Convention, which I'm pretty sure the United States ratified, in order to get asylum, your life has to be in immediate danger. Immediate danger means someone is threatening to kill you. It doesn't mean that you live in a bad neighborhood. It doesn't mean that you hold political views against the government. It means that people have to actually be saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm coming after you, if I find you, you're going to go to jail. Those are the people that are entitled to asylum. I'm going to give you an example. I have a friend whose father was running for mayor in a town in South America who was assassinated. My friend wanted to request asylum. However, he's not entitled to asylum because his life was not under threat. His father's was. There was no threat made against him. In fact, he lived in a different town. And not only that, but he hadn't seen his father since he was a child, like 4 years old. So the family was split. People didn't even know. He didn't know he had brothers. That's the type of situation he has. He's not entitled to asylum just because his father was assassinated. His life has to be under direct threat. Now, the other issue with asylum is that according to the rules, you have to not receive protection from your own government. So not only is your life under threat, but your government refuses to help you. If you read the news about these people coming to America for asylum, a lot of them are coming from Nicaragua and Guatemala. Well, here's the other part. You have to go to the closest country. The closest country is Mexico. It's not the United States. They have to go to Mexico and request asylum in Mexico. In order to be eligible for asylum in the United States, they have to prove not only that their life was under direct threat, specifically them, or that they are a member of a group of people who are under direct threat, and that their own government has refused to protect them, but they have to prove that they went to the neighboring government, which would be Mexico, and that Mexico refused to protect them. And I really do not believe that this is happening. And I know that this is not happening because I read the stories about asylum. So the issue is, let's say my friend who had his father killed, if he had a threat against him, he could have sent a letter. He could have gone to the U.S. Embassy and said, I would like asylum. My own government has not protected me. He would have been granted that. The number of people who receive asylum under that method in the United States every year is like 100 people a year or less, or maybe 5 people or 10 people. It's no more than 100. But you've got 300,000 people a year coming to the border allegedly requesting asylum. 20% are being accepted. That's 60,000 people. These people are not, they're getting through because of a loophole in the asylum system. You've probably heard the wet foot, dry foot policy. What this means is that if you try to cross the ocean from Cuba to the United States and you're in a boat and your boat capsizes, they'll send you back to Cuba. But if you make it to land, you get to stay. That's a dry foot. And the what happens is under asylum, if a person makes it to your country and then requests asylum, you have to process their asylum request. And that's what these people are doing. They're taking advantage of the loophole, which is the dry foot policy. They're going to that country, breaking in and requesting asylum, but it's not designed for people to travel across the globe to break into your country. It's designed for people who are escaping their country. Someone's threatening your life. You get on a plane, you show up at an airport somewhere, and you say, I need asylum. The people escaping trouble. These people are not escaping trouble. I live overseas. I've lived overseas for 10 years, and I've lived in these poor neighborhoods. There is no gang violence any worse than in the United States. There aren't people walking around with guns and robbing everyone and threatening to kill anybody. It's just absolute nonsense. These people are only going to the United States to get a job because they can make $3,000 a month. They send $300 a month back to their family, and they pay for their family's food and home. I'm sorry, I'm sick. That's the reason why they're doing it. Don't believe all this nonsense about asylum and how they're escaping persecution. It's absolute nonsense. They're only coming for money.